Welcome to episode 2 of the Thought Grenade podcast. My name is Colin,
And I'm Tyler.
and today we are going to be discussing our personalities. Um, we took the Meyers-Briggs personality quiz, so we're going to go over the results of that. Um, and that's going to kind of lead us down the rabbit hole into what we're going to talk about later as well.
Correct. And just to add that neither of us know what the other person got. So
Yes,
I
that's
think it'll
important.
be interesting, and I think we should try and also guess what personality trait we think the other person got.
Mm.
But before we get into that,
Hmm.
we just want to thank everybody who listened to the first episode and for the support we've been getting.
Yes.
The
Way more than we thought.
as of recording this, the first episode had 20 plays, which doesn't seem like a lot, but in my perspective,
So
it's
much.
10 times as many as I thought we would get.
Literally. Yep,
I
one was
thought it
you
would just
and
be
one was
us.
me.
Yeah.
Yep.
So thank you very much for that.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
And then I also just want to add real quick here that we are going to be we can take voice messages now through the Anchor app. You can also email us if you'd like to get in contact or have a message or your opinion or anything for the show. Feel free to contact us for that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I mean, yeah, even on our Facebook page, you can message the Facebook page,
yep.
topic ideas, anything like that. So
Yeah, Facebook, that voice message, email. There's plenty of ways to get a hold of us. Twitter as well. So yeah, feel free to reach out to us.
yes, sure. So how do you want to start this? Where do you want to start?
Let's start with how this kind of came up. So,
Okay, that's a good idea.
so you had mentioned something about how you went to an event and you felt drained afterward,
Mm-hmm.
saying that your social battery or how it felt drained, and you had heard the term, but you never really thought anything of it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and the reason I bring that up is people say introverts have a social battery.
Right.
An introvert versus extrovert is the first result on this Myers-Briggs test, so I thought it'd be interesting. And you had never taken it. I had in the past, but not really remembered it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this is actually used in multiple, like people use this for many things. Some jobs have their prospects take this test to see where they would fit best in their company.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure if you're aware of that or not.
No, I'm not. No.
All right, so would you like to go ahead and get into what we got for our results?
Yeah. Do you want to break it down? Obviously, at the very top of the page, it's your personality type is blank. Do you want to start there and then work your way
I
down?
think we should each
Or do you want to
guess.
end there
I think we should guess what the other person got.
for the personality type?
Correct.
All right, let me pull up the page quick. You're gonna hear my clickety clackety. Hang on.
And going off this page, the
I just
personality
need to look.
types page here, we can each one has like a little synopsis, and anyone who's interested in taking this, we used 16personalities.com. So I will link that in the episode description for if you would like to take it, and maybe even take it and then come back and view your results as we do as well.
Okay, I'm going over all the things right now for a guess on you.
Yep.
Um,
I have I mean, I'm gonna go ahead and guess that under the questions you were an introvert.
yes,
So in that I can stick right to the left side of the page as it has the introverts and the extroverts split.
right. Good luck.
I know it's not that easy.
It's no. So, if you have a guess, go ahead and give it. I'm still
I
formulating mine.
I kind of do. I would guess. I feel like our results wouldn't be that different, so I'm gonna guess one. I mean, that doesn't have anything to do with what I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna guess maybe an adventurer
Okay.
or a mediator.
Adventurer or mediator?
So a diplomat or an explorer.
You are. So I'm not an adventurer, and
Okay.
I'm not in the explorer tab.
Okay.
I'm also not a mediator, but you were in the correct area with diplomats. I got advocate,
Okay.
which
Gotcha.
is from what when I did accidentally kind of skip my percentages, it did say that this was one of the rarest personality types that you can get,
Yep. Believe
which is
I
kind of cool.
go
Um,
and
so I guess I'm gonna go with mediator as well.
yep.
You saying yep because I was right?
No.
Oh, that's like
I'm just did you have any other guesses?
um. I'll throw out the let's see. This is my test of pronouncing things today. A logistician? Did I say that right? Is that how you say that?
That looks right. Um that
Those are
is
my guesses.
incorrect as well though.
Shit.
So you had said that you're an advocate.
Yes, I am.
I am
You
also an
also?
advocate.
That's fucking dope.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
all right.
so you were right in that.
Wait. Hang on, pause. Can I pause quick? I'm
Yeah,
sorry. I don't
go
want
ahead.
to interrupt you too much. The first episode, we somehow got through it without swearing. I don't know if you realize that, but we did.
Yeah, I said ass one time.
I just dropped 2 swear words in about 10 seconds.
Did you? I didn't even hear it, honestly.
I did. I said shit and then I said fuck. So,
Oh, okay. That's fine.
disclaimer, we are not always PG. There may be some sexual innuendos. There may be some jokes that
I'd say it's PG-13 though. We're not going to go
PG-13,
AWOL.
yeah, we're not going to like go too far over the wall, but
Correct.
the first episode was really tame actually for how we normally talk to each other, so
That's true.
it might be like that sometimes,
It's also not
but
in the
it might
rage of video games though.
that's true. So,
All right,
all
so
right.
we both got the advocate type. So honestly,
Mhm.
we can make this episode not as long, honestly, so we can talk about other things. But
Yeah, that's way less interesting.
because we have the general stuff, it's not less interesting. It's just, I mean,
Yes,
it's
it
almost
is.
more interesting that we got similar results. Yeah. So I looked into. Obviously, I was an advocate, so looking at my results, and it said that I believe they make up less than 1% of the population. In
Mhm.
So you had said that it's a small amount of people. That's what I saw as well.
Yeah.
So going into this though, we can go ahead and look at our. So my code is INFJ-A.
Ooh, so that's cool. Mine's INFJ, but dash T.
Okay, so that's actually something you had mentioned before the episode. Is you were interested in seeing what the difference there was.
Mm-hmm.
The role is diplomat,
Right.
and the strategy is confident individualism.
Right. I don't know where you're seeing that, but I'm proud of you for knowing that. Whatever. Cool. Well, I still have my percentages pulled up on my phone.
Okay, yeah. So we can go into the percentages now, though, if you'd like.
I do.
The first one being mind. The trait determines how we interact with our environment.
Mhm.
If you want to go ahead and give your stat there.
So I'm 92% introverted, which is out of 100. So the
Whoa.
other 8% is extroverted.
Uh-huh.
Um,
That's more than I
might be
thought, honestly.
might be a little low.
So mine is 63% introverted and 37 extroverted.
Hmm.
Energy. This trait shows where we direct our mental energy. I
Mhm.
had 73% intuitive and 27% observant.
Hmm. I'm at 62% intuitive and 38% observant, which
Got
is
it.
cool. The next one is nature. This trait determines how we make decisions and cope with emotions. And I'm 61% feeling and 39% thinking, which is interesting. I wouldn't have picked those numbers before I took this test.
Yeah, there's some things that I wasn't that sure of, like going back to the energy one quick. I thought I would be more observant than intuitive, but obviously I would assume that these questions that they have ways of figuring it out more
Hmm.
than I would just assume of myself. We're
Right.
pretty close in nature though. I had 65% feeling and 35% thinking. which again, I would also, in my own mind, I would say
Yeah,
it'd be more thinking, but
yeah. I feel like I think way more than I
yeah,
feel.
I agree. Next is tactics. This trait reflects our approach to work, planning, and decision making. Mine was 53% judging and 47% prospecting.
Twinsies.
Really?
Yeah, 53% judging and 47%
So
prospecting.
I actually had something on my phone go wrong as well, so I had to retake the test, and
Mhm.
that percentage is so close. There was one time where I did not get the advocate. I got the um what was the other one there? The
The
mediator.
mediator. Hmm.
So, and then
Poetic, kind, and altruistic. That's not
yes.
you. That ain't you.
And then identity. This trait underpins all others, showing how confident we are in our abilities and decisions. So this is actually different for us.
Yes, this is the one that's different.
Yep. And then
Uh,
I was 63% assertive and 37% turbulent.
I am 72% turbulent and 28% assertive,
Hmm.
which that is a number that I definitely would have picked beforehand.
Yeah,
I would have actually went higher on turbulent and so lower on assertive.
gotcha.
That's crazy.
So, going over that just because that was different for us. The assertive aspect is they're self assertive individuals are self-assured, even-tempered, and resistant to stress. They don't worry too much, but this is different from apathy. They aim for goals and want successful results, but they typically won't let nervousness color the path of their accomplishments. So that's a quick synopsis there. And then turbulent would be power of stress activate. Turbulent individuals are success-driven, perfectionistic, and eager to improve. They're always trying to counterbalance their self-doubts by achieving more. Just as they push themselves to become better, they're as likely to push their projects or efforts in the same direction. So that would be the difference between you and I assume.
Yeah.
Which I don't
Oh,
disagree with. I'm pretty calm under stressful situations. So
I've never been under too many like super stressful
I feel like
situations
you don't,
to bring it
and
out
that
in
has
me.
to kind of do even with you as a person, is that you don't bring that upon yourself.
I try not to. I
Yeah.
don't want to do that. Martin Luther King and Nelson Mandela are also advocates, in
As,
case you're curious.
as well as Mother Teresa. So,
Hmm,
and Lady Gaga.
great.
There's quite a few here, honestly. Um, Morgan Freeman. That's a pretty good one.
Oh, I am Morgan Freeman.
Jon Snow. So,
The 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 Game of Thrones character?
yeah.
You knew nothing, Jon Snow.
All right.
What a
So,
show.
getting into some traits that a advocate would have.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so here's where I saw that the advocate personality type is very rare, making up less than
Mm.
1% of the population, but they nonetheless leave their mark on the world. Advocates have an inborn sense of idealism and morality, but what sets them apart is that they are not idle dreamers. These individuals are capable of taking concrete steps to realize their goals and make a lasting positive impact.
It still doesn't sound like us.
I know, right? I
Like,
mean, it does and it doesn't. Like, I'm no
yeah,
Nelson Mandela, honestly.
right.
As much as I would like to be.
Like, have an inborn sense of idealism and morality. I mean, I'd like to think of myself as a pretty,
I think that means we're naturally good people.
yeah, like a morally good person.
I would say so.
But like leaving a lasting positive impact or taking concrete steps to realize their goals could not be me.
Yeah.
I don't even know what my goals are, brother.
Neither do
Like,
I.
I don't even have a goal to take step towards. Calm down.
I feel like I mean I do things and have like a general idea, but I don't have specific goals.
Hmm. Like,
Like even doing
yeah,
this podcast, like it's something I want to do, and
yeah.
I mean the goal. There's really no goal almost in a
The
way.
goal is to do a podcast.
Yeah. But that, like, in a way is almost relaxing because I don't have all this pressure to do certain things like or push it. It's just then the growth will come naturally. I'm going to assume. I mean, episode 1 did way better than we thought, so that's
Mhm.
great.
I don't even want to read the next paragraph because that one makes it sound even worse. Talks about charity work. Yeah, nope.
It says, yeah, they can often be found in rescue efforts and doing charity work.
I'm trying to skim through and so like this one's next. Help me help you.
Mm-hmm.
My words didn't come out correct there. Just skip over that.
That's fine.
Don't pay attention. Advocates indeed share a unique combination of traits. Though soft spoken, they have very strong opinions and will fight tirelessly for an idea they believe in. They are decisive and strong willed, but will rarely use that energy for personal gain. That one sounds a little more like me.
Yeah, that doesn't sound too
I
bad.
can relate to that.
Those soft spoken, they have very strong opinions and will fight. Yeah, I think that's pretty true.
That's literally me.
We definitely, I think we both have strong opinions, and they vary between us, obviously. But all right, then we can go down.
God. Egalitarianism? Is that how you say that?
Yeah.
What's that mean? What's that? Let me hang on.
Hold on, I got it. Search Google. The doctrine that all people are equal and deserve equal rights and opportunities.
For sure. That's me.
True. Karma are very attractive ideas to advocate personalities.
Yeah. Miss me with that. I'm better than you are bullshit, dude. Get out of here with that. We're all the same.
True. We're all humans. I'm gonna go to strengths and weaknesses now.
I'm gonna keep scrolling through this.
That's fine.
You do that.
So I'm just gonna give it's got like bullet points here for advocate strengths.
Mm-hmm.
Creative, insightful, inspiring and convincing, decisive, determined and passionate, altruistic. So if I'm going through this list, I'd say I'm pretty creative. I'm somewhat insightful. I'm pretty inspiring. I'm not inspiring necessarily, but I'm pretty convincing.
Yeah, I can convince you that I'm inspiring.
Exactly. Because it says speaking in human terms, not technical. Which, I mean, I do that a lot with work. So decisive, 50-50 on that one.
Yeah, no.
Which is funny because it's 50-50 on a decisive.
Yeah, no, you're indecisive.
Determined and passionate, depending on what it is, I think, really. Obviously, that's probably with most people. They'll be passionate about certain things, but...
Like right in the middle of that, advocates will rock the boat if they must.
Yeah. I think that's true. Oh, yeah. Rock my boat. All right, so... And then altruistic will not engage in any actions or promote beliefs just to benefit themselves.
I mean, I'd like to think that I don't do that, but...
I think in general that's pretty true.
Everyone wants to benefit themselves sometimes.
A little bit, yeah. Advocate weakness, which is sensitive, extremely private, perfectionist, or perfectionistic. Always need to have a cause, and can burn out easily.
Oof, big feels on that one.
I think the cons are more accurate than the pros.
Yeah, the pros were a little off, but these cons, oof, they got us nailed.
Sensitive,
to certain things.
I guess I'm relatively sensitive. Yeah. Extremely private, that's accurate.
For sure.
Perfectionistic, that's accurate.
For sure.
Always need to have a cause, pretty much.
And that's the one that's advocate person. They get so caught up in their pursuits that any of the cumbersome tasks that come between them and their ideal vision is deeply unwelcome. Yeah, this is the one about concrete.
I think this one's more accurate, though. Like the end, if routine tasks feel like they are getting in the way, or worse yet, there is no goal at all, they will feel restless and disappointed. I've definitely had that feeling where I'm just like, if I'm not doing this for a reason, why am I doing it?
Yeah.
So, and can burn out easily.
Oh, this last one, me. Can I read it? It's me.
Yeah, this is you.
Their passion and patience for routine maintenance, idealism, and extreme privacy tend to leave advocates with few options for letting off steam. People with this personality type are likely to exhaust themselves in short order if they don't find a way to balance their ideals with the realities of day-to-day living. All right, that's not what I expected.
But I think it's still accurate.
It's still pretty accurate. Goes into romantic relationships?
Yep.
Oh, I wish we were different. This would have been so cool if we were different. I don't want to read this one. Ooh,
That's fine.
friendships?
Friendships.
I don't want to read the one about romance as I'm a married man. Yeah. Yeah.
I would
You're,
actually. So when I did this originally, I did it with my girlfriend Brittany, and so we went over like all like the relationship, and we went over all of it together, but including that. So.
do you remember what she was?
Uh, I do not. I can look and probably ask her as well. But if I were to look, I think. Oh, I do know what she was. She was because we'd actually talked about it when this came up. She was a. Where is it now? Hold on, let me find it. No, a defender.
Where's that?
Very dedicated and warm protectors, always ready to defend their loved ones. A sentinel.
Do you feel that way? Do you feel that's accurate?
Yeah, I'd say
Is
so.
she gonna beat someone up if they try to hurt you?
Probably not.
Oh, that's a shame.
I don't expect her to though either. So.
The friendship portion of this is actually a lot closer to how I feel. Um, the beginning, there's a running theme with advocates, and that is a desire for authenticity and sincerity in their activities, their romantic relationships, and their friendships. People with the advocate personality type are unlikely to go for friendships of circumstance. They avoid situations like workplace social circles or chatting up their local baristas, where the only thing they really have in common is regular contact. That is like spot on.
I agree.
The only people I enjoy talk well, I have friends at work, but not really as socials. Well, there's a bit of a social circle, but like customers, I don't like just casually chatting with customers simply because of this, I guess. That like this makes so much sense right now. Like I'm probably never gonna see you again.
Yeah, I think
Realistically.
I very much agree. I think like small talk is kind of
Yeah.
more
Oh,
annoying than anything to
I
me.
hate it.
Yep.
It makes me uncomfortable. I get like anxious.
Yeah. Where it's like, oh, the weather is nice, and you're like, yeah.
Yeah, the weather.
That's how you know when you have nothing else to talk about is when you're talking
Yeah,
about
when
the
it comes to
weather.
the weather.
I think that's very true though. Like, that's a difference between my girlfriend and myself. She left a job and still stayed in touch with those people, and they would get together for like events. And I was
Mhm.
just like, this is very silly. Like, if I left my job, I would never think
Oh my
I'd go
god.
back for a social event just because I don't
Dude,
talk to these people.
like when someone gets fired or leaves Walmart,
Yep.
spoiler alert, I work at Walmart. And they come back, I'm like, "How can you do this to yourself? This
Yeah.
has to be weird." Like, I would go shop somewhere else. I'm not kidding. I would not shop at I would like, if I had to go up the road to the Route 9 store, I would 100% I'd rather drive that extra 15 minutes than step foot back in the Walmart
Just so
that
you
I
don't have
work
to
in
see
right
your
now.
old employees or your old
Yes.
coworkers.
There's certain people that I would welcome seeing, but it's everyone else. Like if I had to stop and talk to a manager after I recently left my job, no thank you. Get out of here.
Yeah. I think this is true. The next portion where it's closed book and
Yeah.
speed reader.
Yes.
From the start,
Especially the
it can
beginning.
be a challenge to get to know advocates as they are very private. I'd agree with that.
Mhm.
Advocate personalities don't readily share their thoughts and feelings, not unless they are comfortable and feel that those around them can be trusted. Since those thoughts
Mhm.
and feelings are the basis of for advocate friendships, it can take time and patience to get to know them.
Dude,
So And then meanwhile,
Spot on.
very insightful, have a particular knack for seeing beyond others' disguises. They are able to interpret others' intentions quickly and easily and weed out those who they deem incompatible.
Oh,
I think this is very true.
my third eye has opened, dude.
So this is kind of relevant to something we mentioned last episode when we were talking about how we met, and like we would have been at Matt's, and you said you would have been really quiet because you didn't know me.
So quiet. I would have looked like a rock if you walked in there, and you couldn't even know I was there.
Why do you have a human statue in the corner?
Yeah. What did gargoyles make their return? What is this decor?
So I agree. I'm very similar in that, and people think I'm quiet and antisocial when it's more like I'm only. I guess that's kind of true, but it's more if I know you, like I'll be open.
Yes.
So
and that's like a meme on the internet, right? Like,
yeah,
and I've seen it a couple times recently. Is I'm an introvert until you get to know me, and then I'll talk your ear off like I just did 3 lines of cocaine.
yeah,
And that's really true. Like, if I don't know you, I don't want to talk to you, and it takes time for me to open up. And I said that I've talked to coworkers in the past, and it's like when I first started there, nobody liked me simply because I wouldn't talk to them, and they all thought I was just an asshole who didn't want to talk to them because one person got the vibe that I thought I was better than everyone else, and I really just didn't want to talk to anyone because I'm an advocate. This is gonna be my new go-to.
This is your excuse.
Oh, just go to 16personalities.com and do your test, and you'll completely understand me from now on. Okay.
So that's true. If you were to interact with someone who I've been around a couple times, not many, they'll probably be like, "Oh, he's quiet and antisocial." But if you ask my girlfriend, she goes, "That kid won't shut up." Like I just talk and talk and talk, and even if they're not listening, sometimes I feel like I'm just talking over, like just continually talking. I'm not antisocial. It's just I have to be somewhat comfortable with the person I'd be talking to.
Right. Oh God.
And I think maybe that has something to do with us actually being friends as well.
Yeah, and why
because we're both looking for something, not just like shallow, I guess. Where we can both see flaws, but I feel like we're both pretty real. So.
I'm not gonna lie, I really just struggled to take my hoodie off, so I wasn't really listening.
That's fine.
Oh God, I turned my mic down. I couldn't hear you for a couple seconds. It was the whole thing. I wish we had video. That would have been really funny to watch. Oh God.
And so quickly going over a couple extra things in the friendship. Once a common thread is found, though, people with advocate personality type make loyal, supportive companions. People with this personality type encourage growth and life-enriching experiences with warmth, excitement, and care.
Yes.
So, all right. I don't know. Do you want to go to parenthood or do you want to skip over parenthood?
I don't. What goes? Yeah. Oh, this goes really in depth, dude. Workplace habits. I kind of want to read this.
The workplace habits one?
Yeah, just to see if it confirms anything that I just said or what I've gone through, or if you've gone through anything like that.
I'm just gonna go over their career paths quickly before, as a segue, I guess, into our workplace. So, advocates are likely to find that most corporate career paths are not designed for them, but for those focused on their status and material gain. However, people with this personality are able to find work that suits them in just about any field. That's something I agree with. Growing up, I mean, my parents are similar in this aspect, and my brother as well, where it's what is it, jack of all trades, master of none. Like I have nothing I'm amazing at, I feel like, but I'm pretty decent at a lot of things.
Oh, that's not the whole quote. Hang on, that's not the whole quote. Clickety clackety. My name's Jackety. Oh God, that didn't work.
Here, while you do that, it says, in fact, advocates are likely to face the opposite problem. Many struggle to begin a career early on because they see 10 wildly different paths forward, each with its own set of rewards. This can be appealing, but also heartbreaking, because picking just one means letting go of so much else.
Can I read you the whole quote now?
Yeah.
Or, well, supposedly the complete saying. Who knows? It's probably been lost in time. But a jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one, which is very true.
Yes.
Sometimes, obviously, if you need an electrician,
You're
then
gonna
you
get
probably
someone
want like
who's the
a
master of
really good
yeah, a
electrician.
master electrician.
Yeah, you want like Thor, right?
Yeah.
You don't want like Poseidon trying to come in and do your electrical work,
Yeah.
whatever.
Or
He's
it's
a loser.
like, I mean, I guess Poseidon would have like a special skill as well, just not necessarily electrician. Oh
Yeah, like he could fix your shower and stuff for you.
yeah, he'd be great at that.
Yeah,
Also,
he'd be a
side
good
note, weird thing
plumber.
is that Poseidon's also the god of earthquakes.
Yeah,
What?
and horses.
Yeah.
Yeah, water horses. Exactly. That's just what you think of when you think of Poseidon.
Yeah. Earthquakes and horses.
Hmm. Them's men's were weird back then.
I feel like they just had a couple like extra things
Yeah.
and they're like, Poseidon could take those.
Yeah, how do we explain? How did horses get here? Probably Poseidon.
Yeah.
He fits.
Well, Hera is like the goddess of fertility, so like her animal is a cow,
Mm,
which is interesting.
could have been a horse. Take from that what you will. Wink.
Okay, workplace habits. Did you want to go into this? Did it
Yeah,
relate?
the first part didn't. The first part useless. Don't read that part.
Hmm.
But the second part, as a subordinate, because that's what I currently am.
Hmm.
I'm a lowly little subordinate. As subordinates, advocates are likely to do poorly with strict rules, formal structures, and routine tasks. People with the advocate personality type value cooperation and sensitivity. The more open minded and personal their manager style is, and the more they feel their personal input is considered, the happier they'll be. Advocates act on their convictions, so when they do something, it's something that has meaning to them. If those actions come under criticism, especially the unwarranted kind, their morale is likely to tank spectacularly. I can relate to that. I don't like the strict rules part. I mean, some of the rules are stupid, come on,
Yeah.
but they're in place so that they don't get their sued to death essentially and go bankrupt because
Hmm.
someone falls through a pallet and breaks their ankle. But like the formal structures are annoying, and the routine tasks I don't agree with. I really tasks of where I work personally,
Hmm.
even though I don't technically have to do them because of my position. When I'm asked to do them, I thoroughly enjoy doing like the things that department managers have to do, price changes and section work.
Yeah.
I love doing it. I
Yeah.
don't know why I do, but I love doing it. And like um, the past department manager that I worked under, he hated doing price changes and section work, and I was like, why? It kills time. It's simple. Maybe maybe there's more to it than that than why he didn't like it. Maybe it's just because I like it so much. So I'm like, how can you not like it? Maybe it's one of those things.
Hmm.
But I really enjoy doing the routine tasks. Um,
Yeah, I feel like a
first
lot of my
semester
job
thing.
is like I guess you could call it a routine task. It's very similar work over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I don't know. Some of the stuff is just like not accurate.
yeah,
Like,
like and the colleagues, the second paragraph, advocates are likely to
mhm.
place more importance on working together over efficiency, encouraging hard work and helping others when needed. While this is usually a strength, there's a risk that others will take advantage of advocates' desire to get things done.
Oh,
I
I
don't
feel that, dude.
I do not. I rather have efficiency than working together.
I don't, dude. My whole thing though with that is like if you give two people an hour-long task each. So how do I want to word this? I've done this so many times in my head and it makes sense, and now I'm going to say it out loud and it doesn't make sense. So. But like if you give someone or two people do the same task
Yep.
and it takes half the time to do it if one person did it, right?
Hmm.
And then they have time to do the task that the other person was assigned and
Yep.
they still get it done. If those like there's certain degrees, but if you are two people I specifically can relate to this because I've had many a manager uh, speak to me about this because I do it a lot with my other coworkers. I'm like, I'll help you with this, and if I help you with this, you can help me with this, and we'll get it done, right? And it'll take the same amount of time because we're cutting the time in half, but then you mash it together and it adds up to the same amount.
Yep.
As long as you get it done, that makes sense
That
to
almost
me.
in a way does seem like efficiency to me, though.
Yeah, it's still efficient. That's what I mean. Like if you're
Yeah.
doing it and you're dicking around, and you don't get it done, then you're gonna get yelled at. But like we were getting yelled at, even though we were getting our work done, and we're like, wait a minute, that don't make sense. Why are you yelling at me when I man? Yeah. Conclusion? We're almost done.
Yep. I mean, we are about 36 minutes in, so I think we're doing okay.
Yeah.
A conclusion will be good though. It'll be a good recap here.
Yeah.
Also, I'd like to just side note that the we both got the advocate, and the little character they have is a wizard.
It is a wizard.
So I was pretty stoked on that.
It's pretty cool.
I mean, the next coolest one is none of them, honestly.
I mean, the protagonist is kind of cool because he's got a sword.
Yeah, he's a knight, but we're a wizard.
Yeah, we beat him. Wizard beats knight.
That's
Common
a fact.
math.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah. Tyler.
What?
All
right, so
hang on, wait a minute.
What?
Our podcast is now on Apple Podcasts.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I was gonna go into that.
Okay, cool beans.
Breaking news here.
Yeah, breaking news.
Ba-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Yeah, we'll edit that in.
We just got a notification through email where our podcast will now be available on iTunes or Apple Podcasts, the purple app on your iPhone there.
Yes, the purple app.
So that's exciting.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
That is very cool. So if you're not listening on Apple and that's your preferred platform, if you're listening on Spotify just because it's where we're available, first of all, we appreciate you for going out of your way to listen to us. But
you're the best.
But we can simplify it now. You can go back to your little purple icon, which is personally what I use, so I think it works great.
Well, I use Spotify, so whatever.
But that's awesome.
That's really cool.
Yeah, so it should be on the iTunes store within the next few hours, but by the time you hear this, it should be out.
Yes, obviously.
So, going to the conclusion, however, of the advocate. Few personality types are as passionate and mysterious as advocates. As someone with this personality type, your imagination and empathy make you someone who cherishes their integrity and deeply held principles. Unlike many other idealistic types, however, you are also capable of turning those ideals into plans and executing them. Goes in negative stuff. Skip that.
Whoa. The negative stuff is the stuff that's been right.
Really? That's true. Did you want to read that?
No, I was just kidding.
Oh.
That one wasn't. Oh, I tricked you.
But what you've read so far is an introduction, and less than 5% of what we can tell you.
They just want our money now.
Yeah, now they're just going to it.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm happy with the information I got from this.
Yeah, some of it is.
I think that's going to be true no matter what personality type you are, just because we still vary person to person.
Right.
But
I really like this quote. Can I read this quote?
Yeah.
In the end, it's your actions, how you respond to circumstance, that reveals your character. And that's from Kate Blanchett. I hope I pronounced
correct.
their name correctly. I really like that quote. I think that's a beautiful quote.
That is a good quote. I agree.
I feel like that's a good way to end it off, that quote.
Now
they just want money.
I mean, there's also an insight of the day over here, which is advocates are the most likely personality type to describe themselves as people watchers.
Oh, I love people watching.
As do I.
That's a good time.
One of my favorite things to do. I think that's why I really like New York City, because there's so many people to watch.
Did you read the core theory about the two different types of advocate? Because I just found this.
Is it the? Oh, I have it here as well. That was the at least the general. I skipped a lot of it, but I
Okay.
did the general differences.
Cool beans.
Oh, there's an optimist or pessimist survey. Interesting.
Can we'll do that. We'll save that for a later date.
That's fine.
Wait a minute.
Wait, it
Oh,
looks like
wait,
the
man.
same thing. I
They
don't know.
want my money. Alrighty. So that can lead us into the next topic, diving more into introverts and extroverts.
Correct. Yep. Being that we are both introverts, I would like to go over the topic that actually brought this up that you had brought to
Yes.
me is that
Mhm.
the I'm gonna put it in quotes because it's what people would refer to as a social battery.
Yes.
Um,
Um,
being that we start the day with like a full battery,
mhm.
and then the more interaction we have, it lowers and lowers and lowers.
Yeah, drains.
Yep. Um,
Um,
do you have like this feeling or this I don't know? Do you feel like this often that you like you're full in the morning and then by the end of the day you're kind of drained?
Not really.
Mm-hmm.
I guess to tell the story that brought this topic up in more clarity, because we kind of breezed over it at the beginning. Um, I had never experienced anything like this before. I've always known that I was an introvert, not as a child, but as I've gotten older and gotten acquainted with the term, looking back, I've always been an introvert. Um, but I was at my parents' anniversary party the other day, and it was at a bar. It was a really nice party, and I was really happy I went. And as it went on, I wasn't even there for very long. I was probably only there. I got there like 6, and we left it a little. I was there for less than 2 hours, and I don't know what it was that made me feel this way, but I was there for like an hour and a half, and I just felt so tired,
Mm-hmm.
so tired. I was like, Alyssa, can we please go home? Like, I really just want to go home. So we ate dinner, and then we went home, and I had never felt that before, and I never truly understood the idea of a social battery until this came up.
Yep.
And I hope it doesn't happen again because I really didn't like it at all. Like, I'd prefer if it just stayed locked up wherever it was before that happened, it can go right back there and it can stay there.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever experienced your social battery draining to zero? Mine had to be at zero or close to it.
I don't know if I've ever had it affect me as much as you say that you had experienced. Um, I definitely have, and I definitely get drained in like bigger social events like that.
Mhm.
Like something like your wedding. It didn't hit me too bad. I think there was a lot of excitement there as well, though.
Yeah.
As well as maybe some alcohol. I don't know.
The gift alcohol probably helped.
That's true, but I definitely have been in situations where it's drained me, and I'm just pooped by the time I'm done. Um, but definitely not to the extent that you had said that you had it. So
Mhm.
it is definitely interesting that I mean maybe it's almost like a mental exercise to be in that kind of event.
Yeah, that's probably a good way to look at it. And a lot of the people, I, I knew them, like I knew who a lot of them were, but I didn't know any of them. And this partially goes in back into what we just talked about, being an advocate,
Yep.
personality type, is I didn't know anyone well enough. Other, my brother was there. I had Alyssa with me. Um, Brendan ended up showing up. So I had people I could talk to, but before they all got there, it was a bunch of my parents' friends who knew me when I was little that I haven't talked to in I couldn't tell you the last time I talked to really any of them.
Yeah.
So I just felt out of place,
Yep.
like I shouldn't be there even though it was something that I had to be there for. Like my parents were renewing. I'm so happy I was there for it. It was really beautiful. I'm really happy I was, because originally I wasn't actually able to go. I was scheduled to work that day,
Yep.
but luckily I was able to going to work early, and I was able to go, and I'm super grateful that I was. And that'll be a memory that I'll have for the rest of my life. But aside from that part, I just didn't feel like I should be there in that setting.
Yep. I so I kind of, I don't know if you're similar this way. But even just in that kind of situation, you're just looking around, assessing everything almost constantly.
Hmm.
Very similar to how we mentioned that the personality type we have is like a people watcher
Yeah.
type, as well
Mm.
as going back to last episode, the inner monologue. So I
Yeah.
know in that situation, it would have been, for to me personally, it would have been like constantly just being aware of everything that's going on, or
Hmm.
like doing my best to do that, and then my mind, my inner monologue, just ranting, just going on and on and on.
Yeah.
Which I know definitely becomes tiring after a while.
For sure. It, I don't even know how to explain it. I wish I could. I wish I had a better why it happened.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it could just be because everyone there was apparently extroverts. I don't know, weirdos talking to each other and stuff. Who does that? What's going on here? Just
Yep.
leave me alone. Don't don't speak to me. Um. So I have an article here
Okay.
about introvert and extroverts,
Yeah.
and it says, and this is a recent article. It was published February 14th of 2019, so last year
Yep.
around this
About a
time.
year ago.
Actually, almost exactly a year ago.
Yeah.
So it's pretty recent. It says, according to Psychology Today, there is 50 to 74% of the population is extroverts. So literally, they outnumber us,
Yep.
which is a problem.
Yes.
Like,
I guess.
can it? Can we flip it? Can we get them with like an Uno reverse card and just flip the tables? Because that's not fair.
Yeah, I think I mean, I think that could change. I think introverts, with technology being the way it is,
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
gaming and whatnot, I think it is becoming more prevalent.
we're cultivating them. We're growing more.
Yes, where there's actually people who don't leave their house now. You don't have to go out. You don't have to buy groceries. You
Mm.
can have groceries delivered. You don't have to buy anything in a store. Really, you have Amazon. You have
Mm.
most of the main retailers also have websites that have 2 day shipping, or in certain places same day shipping.
Yeah,
Um,
Walmart's gonna actually start delivering. Like we're gonna have delivery people, and we're gonna deliver stuff to houses
yep, that's
soon, like in the next couple months.
yeah, that's a pretty common thing. I mean, obviously we're not in a big city where we don't
Hmm.
see these, but it
Yeah.
is somewhat relevant. It is very relevant in where, if you're closer to like a larger population,
Hmm.
where I mean, there's an app that people use for that. There's an app for everything. That's kind of
There's
like the
that.
joke. There's an app for
There's
that.
that. Yep.
Um, so that's just the thing. I think the whole introvert thing is becoming more popular, I would assume,
Hmm.
and as people's social skills decline.
Oh.
Now, what is your take on that? Do you think that's a good thing, or do you think that's a bad thing? Obviously, it doesn't have to be black and white. There can be, you can think it's good in certain ways and bad in certain ways, but I just want to know your opinion on that.
For my personal well-being, I would enjoy it more if less people wanted to talk to me.
Hmm.
So I guess it could be a good thing. But I think for the overall health of the world, um, it's the more people skills that people have, the better we are going to be as a society,
Hmm.
right? Um, when I'm at work, I know I said earlier, like I hate small talk and blah, blah. I do enjoy talking to people to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I don't like you said when it gets to the point where it's like, how about the weather? Like I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah.
But the initial like there's certain things, there's certain people skills that everyone needs. And with the way technology is advancing, like you said, um, we are literally cultivating introverts. Like before, you know, the telephone. Well, we can go back that far.
Mm-hmm.
The only way you could talk to someone was in person, or you wrote them a letter,
Yeah.
and it took a really long time for people to get that letter.
Yeah.
So your best bet was to go talk to somebody. The communities were probably were more tight knit, and then as the telephone came out, and then internet, and then once the internet came out and mobile phones could become a thing,
Mm-hmm.
and then gaming platforms jumped on the internet, so you can literally, like you said, not leave your house, but you can talk to someone for 24 hours throughout the day
Mm-hmm.
if you so choose to. um, I don't think as a society that's necessarily the healthiest thing that can happen. But for me personally, I would be a happier human being
Mm-hmm.
if I didn't have to see anyone for the rest of my life, I think. So I'm not sure where I stand.
Yeah. I mean,
It's a good bad thing.
I think
It's
it
a
is
bad good
definitely a
thing.
good bad good thing.
Hmm.
Um, so I actually was thinking about this, and I just did a little clickety clack search. So,
Yes.
um, I think because of the lack of communication we're having, in one way, it's definitely could affect us is actual relationships, not just friendships, but also romantic relationships,
Hmm.
and what in turn very similar. If you look at Japan, they
Hmm.
pretty much a lot of men in Japan, they go to work and they go home and they don't leave their apartment. They don't have
The dream.
interaction. They don't have interaction with really other humans much. To the point where I'm sure you've heard of the services where it's like you can basically FaceTime and have dinner with someone. Like you pay someone to have dinner with you over FaceTime. Um, but
Yes.
in turn, like something that would happen is that the rate at which children are being born is
Mhm.
is actually declining. I pulled up that as well.
That's
So
not a bad thing.
that's actually what I was saying as well. That's another good bad thing. So obviously there's a concern that we're producing at too high of a rate and
Mhm.
we're almost like parasites on the earth, just draining it of its resources.
Yeah.
However, it says there's an article here that says US birth rate is lowest in 32 years. So that's just something I brought up. That's another aspect of not having that social interaction.
Mhm. I mean, that's a good thing. If
Hmm.
this leads to less people being born, then we're on the right track,
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Obviously,
I,
to a certain extent, if there's a point where no one's having kids,
oh, that's the perfect number.
that's awful.
0%. 0% new human beings. The world would be a better place.
All right, let's. I mean, I don't necessarily agree. I want to have some kids.
I don't. We're a plague. We're gonna die anyway. There's gonna be another cataclysmic event. It's happened before. It'll happen again. There's no way to avoid it. We'll die. I mean, we won't. We'll already be dead. But the human race will die.
Yeah.
It's sorry to.
I mean, at some
If I
point.
just bursted somebody's bubble, I apologize.
I
But
mean, if there was
it's
dinosaurs, you think they were definitely stronger than we are.
yeah,
So,
they were
and they're
bigger,
all
faster,
gone. So,
harder, stronger. Yeah, they out of here. Well, there's some. I mean, like there's dinosaur aged sharks and
um,
such.
I
But
suppose.
no.
Also, another thing we need to get into. I mean, you
Dinosaurs?
mentioned it
Yes.
briefly in that it's like the not necessarily this episode. I'm just saying in the future.
Mhm.
You had mentioned the um the whole oceanography thing
Yes.
and like the bottom of the ocean. Definitely interested in getting into that one of these days.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just because you said like dinosaur aged sharks,
Mm-hmm.
megalodons are something I've been interested in for a long time.
Okay.
I think,
Do you think they still exist?
I mean, it's possible.
There's people that think they do.
Do you think they do?
At one point I did, but I've seen some reputable scientists say that it's physically impossible, and
Hmm.
I'm kind of leaning towards believing them.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't want to.
I of course would love to believe that like the Loch Ness monster's real, the megalodons are real, Sasquatch exists. Like I would love to
Well,
believe that, and sometimes it's very hard to believe that.
yeah,
I think.
especially when there's certain shows that just make it non-believable,
Yeah.
right? Like Finding Sasquatch. Go away. I'm glad you. I hope you don't exist anymore.
And this is coming from me, who Matt and I, when we were in fourth and fifth grade, we'd sit in the library and look at books about the Bermuda Triangle,
Mm-hmm.
Bigfoot, Loch Ness
Mm-hmm.
monster, and we are both like, when we grow up, we're gonna travel together, and figure out these mysteries. Obviously, the Bermuda Triangle thing was apparently they figured it out, where it's a spoiler alert, isn't it? A giant rock.
Spoilers.
It's like a rock with a
Um,
magnetic pole or something.
yeah, there's a really strong magnetic field in that area. I don't know what causes it. It could be a rock that's way it's not as cool as like aliens or something, but I'll accept it if that's what they say. But yeah, it's some absolutely destructive magnetic field that just demolishes things.
And then another topic that we'll get into. I'm sure we have so many because we're new.
Yeah.
Um, conspiracy theories,
Hmm.
because they say it's a rock with a magnetic pole. But
Yeah,
are
that's
they
what
just
they
trying to cover
say.
up that there's ghost pirates out there?
Yeah. I've seen Scooby Doo. I've seen that episode. You can't fool me. No. Yeah, there's um so much to talk about.
Definitely. And
So much.
of course, if anyone has topics, as we mentioned in the beginning of the show, you can contact us through
Hmm.
various ways.
Various lots of ways.
Uh, but I think it was very interesting to go over the personality types and whatnot.
Hmm.
Did you have anything else to add on any of that?
I wish we were different personality types. That I think
But
we
maybe
were
we're
like,
friends because we're the same.
yeah, maybe. We should get our other friends to take this test
I
and
agree.
see what they are.
Yeah,
Force them to
I think so. I think that'd be a good
by
idea.
an
And
ultimatum. Take this test or we're not friends anymore. And if they do it, then we can still be friends regardless of what they get.
true. But I think it'd be interesting to we'll try and get one of our friends on, at least one of them.
Mhm. Yeah, people are gonna hear us. They're gonna keep hearing us talk about them, and then they're gonna be like, "Hey, do you really? Are you guys doing this podcast because you don't have friends?"
Shut up.
And yeah, it's like, don't hurt our feelings like that.
I think Matt would be the appropriate one to get on first, just because I mean I'm not saying it's gonna happen that he's first, but
Hmm.
just because he was kind of the bridge that connected you and I.
Yeah, yeah. The bridge to Terabithia. Sure, sure.
I liked that movie,
I watched that movie recently with Alyssa, and I cried.
dude. I
I
cried.
did not. I did not cry when I was little. I cried.
I cried when I was little, and I probably would cry now.
Really sad. Really good movie though.
Real good movie.
Ah, I don't want to talk about it. I'll cry. I'll literally just start crying right now.
All right. Well, I think that's where we'll wrap up this episode then.
Yeah,
Just so
Colin's
you don't,
tears.
just so you don't cry. I cry every time.
uh,
All right. Thank you everyone for listening to episode 2 of the Thought Grenade podcast. We, as we mentioned, we would like to have your input. We accept voice
mhm,
messages. We have a Facebook page. We have a Twitters, and those will all be linked in the episode description.
mhm.
We will be coming to Apple Podcasts soon, if
Soon.
not already, which is exciting. Do you have anything you'd like to plug, Colin?
I do want to shout out. I don't. I'm doing this because I told him I was going to do this. I almost forgot about it. Um, Ryan. I used to work with Ryan, and he's the first person that messaged me and was like, "Hey, I'm listening to your podcast. Kind of cool." So he's our first listener, I think. So
Other than
shouts out to
ourselves.
Ryan. Other than ourselves, yeah, he's the first person that openly said, "I'm listening to your podcast." So we appreciate you specifically. We
That,
appreciate everyone.
that's true. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Did you want to plug your social media or anything? We can have links
We can.
in the description to our personals as well, or those are you can find our personals right on the Thought Grenade podcast
Yep. It's
pages.
my Twitter's at ckelsey1323. Capital C, capital K. Again, it'll be in the description. Click it. You can follow me. I don't. My Twitter used to be very exclusive. I used to follow like no one and
Mm-hmm.
only followed, or I didn't accept followers essentially, and I only followed pages. But follow me. You'll see not much, except for when the podcast goes live. You'll see that a lot.
That's a good place to follow. If you use Twitter for updates, then follow Colin, follow myself, follow the Thought Grenade, uh, or Twitter.
Yeah.
That's the word.
Yeah. Hmm.
You can follow me on Twitter at Tyler_McCullen, all lowercase. Its last name is MCCULLEN. But as I said, you can find us at Grenade Thought on Twitter,
Yeah.
Thought
Rest in
Grenade
peace.
Podcast on Facebook, and all your links will be in the description as well. So
Mhm.
that ends this episode, and we look forward to blowing your minds next week.
Goodbye.